You're listening to the Music Educator Podcast with your host, Bill Stevens, the 21st century music educator man.
Podcasting from beautiful Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome to the Music Educator Podcast, bringing you the latest tips, tricks, and practical advice you can use tomorrow. Here's your host, and
hello, music lovers, music students, and music educators. It is a beautiful day, and if you're listening to this as it comes out, you are almost on summer break. Give or take a couple weeks, you made it. You got through the year. Congratulations. Season 6 is about a refresh, a restart. And one of the beautiful things about going into summer break is that you get that chance to recharge and get excited about teaching. Now, the mission, the vision of the Music Educator Podcast is to inspire passion and excellence in music education through personalized instruction, fostering a lifelong love of music for educators and students of all ages and skill levels. So, if you're willing to take your skills, your passion, let's say, to the next level, you've come to the right place. As always, I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Bill Stevens, and this is the Music Educator Podcast in Season 6, Episode 2. And we're going to start right now. To get started, to keep with the recharging and refreshing theme, let's go ahead and just talk about the importance of music education. Now, music education plays a vital role in shaping the lives of students. Music education helps foster creativity of students. It helps with the actual creativity of music educators, and it also helps the promoting of holistic development for students. And as a professional music educator, let me share why music education is so vital to our students' well-being. First, it emotionally regulates the well-being of students. Research consistently shows that music positively impacts emotions and mental health. Why do you think a lot of times we just want to listen to music to the side? Listening to music can help students refresh, think about something else, or just kind of get away. An example of this would be a student who struggles with anxiety might find solace in playing a smooth melody on piano. Music education also enhances cognitive skills. We've all heard this. We know the concept of the Mozart effect. And music education stimulates various cognitive functions, including memory, attention, and problem-solving abilities. An example would be learning to read sheet music involving decoding symbols, which enhances visual, spatial skills, and pattern recognition. Music education provides effective communication and collaboration with students. Think about it. You have music ensembles, such as bands, choirs, orchestras, which require teamwork, right? Well, when you're in an active team, you're providing and you're engaging in active listening and cooperation, which provides tasks for each individual to help meet the overall goal. For instance, in a choir, singers must blend their voices harmoniously, right? Emphasizing the importance of collaboration by listening to each other and fitting in an ensemble, some bringing out their voice, some bringing it down, some doing things to problem solve to make the sound more cohesive. There's also a sense of cultural appreciation and diversity in music education. Now, music exposes students to diverse cultures, traditions, and musical styles. You see this all the time, whether it's for something more commercialized like Halloween. Sometimes you have Black History Month, you have Latino heritage, you have all kinds of things that celebrate different cultures. An example of this would be studying African drumming or Indian classical music, which fosters cultural understanding and appreciation. We've talked about this. Music education provides opportunities for creativity and self-expression. So think about this. Music allows students to express themselves, whether through composing, improvising, performing. And an example of this would be a student writing their own song lyrics, which they can explore their personal feelings and experiences. This is most notably recently advertised through Taylor Swift's lyrics, or some of the more modern or more current artists out there. They're expressing emotions through their craft of music. Music education also enables students to practice discipline and time management. By practicing an instrument or preparing for a performance, it requires discipline and it requires a consistent effort. By practicing, you're developing muscle memory, you're developing a mentality, you're developing a sense of value. An example of this would be a student who practices violin diligently, learning the value of this persistence and time management. And as a result, this will also transfer into other aspects of their lives. Music education also boosts academic achievement. We've all heard this. Music students are often very smart, or they have some innate talent or discipline that maybe the general population doesn't have. Studies suggest that students involved in music tend to perform better academically. An example would be learning rhythm patterns, which can enhance mathematical skills, logical thinking, and spatial reasoning. Music education provides a sense of achievement and confidence. Mastering an instrument or the control of your voice, or even just performing in front of an audience builds confidence. An example of this would be a student's first successful piano recital, which reinforces their sense of accomplishment. We've all been there. We've gotten the jitters, and then afterwards, there's the grand applause, and you feel great. A big weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and you realize you could do it all along. By staying involved in music education, you're creating an inclusive learning environment. Music classrooms celebrate diversity as students from various backgrounds come together. An example is a school band includes students of different ages, abilities, and interests. And finally, music education provides lifelong appreciation for the arts. By exposing students to music at young ages, it cultivates a lifelong love for the arts that they want to embrace. An example could be an adult who attends a symphony concert or enjoys watching jazz performances. This impact of early music education creates a sense of music consumption, whether it's live, digitally, or any other means. To sum up here, music education transcends mere notes and scales. It literally shapes character, fosters empathy, and enriches lives. Now, as an educator or a student that perhaps will become an educator, we have the privilege of nurturing the next generation of musicians and music enthusiasts. It's also incredibly important to continue to champion our craft, music education. Now, let's go ahead and shift gears and talk about teaching techniques and strategies. I'm going to explore some effective teaching methods, which is crucial for music educators to develop as they continue their journey through their career. And here's why. First, we have student engagement. Now, by diving into various teaching approaches, music educators can find methods that resonate with their students, whether it's incorporating technology, movement, or culturally relevant content. Effective methods enhance student engagement and motivation. Second, differentiated learning. And music classes are diverse, especially nowadays, with students of varying abilities and learning styles. By exploring different teaching techniques which allow educators to tailor their instruction, it ensures that all students, or at least provides a strong opportunity to allow all students to learn and succeed. Third, we have innovation and adaptation. To highlight innovative approaches, music educators can explore emerging trends such as gamification, project-based learning, or flipped classrooms, all of which are trending. These methods encourage creativity, critical thinking, and active participation. Fourth, we have evidence-based practices. And you probably heard something about this. Best practices are grounded in research and proven to yield positive results. Educators should seek evidence-based strategies, such as formative assessment, peer teaching, or collaborative learning to enhance student outcomes. And also, don't let the terminology scare you. You're probably doing a lot of this already. And fifth, we have professional growth. Delving into teaching methods fosters professional growth. It's important to attend workshops, conferences, collaborating with colleagues, and researching the best practices. And by researching the best practices, they empower you as the educator to continuously develop your skills and enjoyment of teaching. Now remember, effective teaching methods empower you as the music educator to create meaningful learning experience. They'll allow you to inspire students and contribute to a vibrant music community. Let that sink in for a moment. Next, let's talk about something that we all have to deal with: classroom management and engagement. So classroom management and engagement for music educators is an essential concept. And as a music teacher, creating a conducive learning environment is actually necessary to actually teach effectively. And here are some key pointers to consider. 1. Procedures and rules. Have a plan. Music classrooms need clear procedures for everything from entering the room to instrument handling. Develop a plan for transitions, attendance, and equipment usage. Specific rules. While guidelines are helpful, specific rules are essential. Communicate expectations regarding behavior, respect, and participation. Do this until this is evident that has sunk in. And finally, consequences. Define consequences for rule violations. Remember, consistency is key. Number 2, engagement strategies. Active participation. Encourage students to actively participate in music making. Use techniques like call and response, movement, and group activities. Keep a level of variety. So keep these lessons dynamic by incorporating various activities: singing, playing instruments, listening, and composing. Also, don't be afraid to use technology. Leveraging technology for interactive learning is great. Virtual instruments, music apps, and recording tools can enhance and really improve the engagement in your room. Also, be sure to incorporate student interests. Relate the music that you're playing to student interests. Explore genres they enjoy or discuss famous musicians. Also, be sure to collaborate. Foster collaboration through ensemble work, group projects, and peer feedback. Next, we have the actual classroom environment. So first, let's start with the physical setup. Be sure to arrange the room for optimal visibility and acoustics. You want your students to hear what good sounds like. Ensure students can see and hear you clearly. Use visual aids. So by using posters, charts, and visuals to reinforce concepts, you can display this information to students, and you can also celebrate achievements. And ultimately, keep the atmosphere positive. Create a positive, encouraging atmosphere. Praise effort, celebrate progress, and build a sense of community. Next, you have behavior management. Again, positive reinforcement. Acknowledge good behavior with praise. If you want, you can use stickers or small rewards, but try to keep this intrinsically motivated if possible. Also, use redirecting. When students misbehave, redirect their attention rather than focusing on the negative behavior. You'll be surprised what kind of outcomes you might get when you become a master at redirecting. And next, private conversations. If you have behavior issues, address discipline issues privately to avoid embarrassing students. If they feel like they're being embarrassed, they'll do something that they may not have initially wanted to or intended to. Next, we have transitions and time management. So if you want to use your time wisely, you need to have smooth transitions. Plan transitions between activities to minimize disruptions. Sometimes people time these. Use cues like music or countdowns. And talking about time limits, be mindful of the lesson duration. Keep lesson segments short. Keep these focused and maintain the engagement of your students. And number 6, we're going to work on behavior management deals with building relationships. So get to know your students, understand their backgrounds, their interests, and learning styles. Greet them as they come in. Either give them a handshake, fist pump, some kind of special greeting. Welcome students individually as they enter the room. And next, listen actively. Show genuine interest in their thoughts and experiences. Now remember, effective classroom management enhances student learning and creates a positive musical experience. As music educators, we have the privilege of shaping young musicians and fostering their love of music. So let's do this. Now we're going to dive even deeper and talk about music education challenges and solutions. So let's explore the challenges and solutions in music education. As music educators, we encounter various obstacles, but within thoughtful strategies, we can enhance our teaching practices and actually become better teachers. So here's some key challenges and practical solutions. So dealing with inclusion and diversity. The challenge. Music classrooms are increasingly diverse, with students from various cultural backgrounds, abilities, and learning styles. Now, the solution is foster an inclusive environment by curriculum adaptation, differentiation, and collaboration. So in curriculum adaptation, incorporate music from different cultures and genres. Celebrate diversity through performances and discussion. Keep it simple. Differentiation, tailor instruction to meet the individual needs. Provide alternative assessments and varied repertoire if needed. And collaboration, partner with other educators. Okay, this could be special education teachers, could be the Spanish teacher, to ultimately support diverse learners. Second, let's talk about challenges and solutions through budget constraints. So the challenge is limited funding affects access to instruments, technology, and resources. A lot of people have this issue. Okay, so possible solutions can include grant writing, community engagement, and creative solutions. So in grant writing, you want to seek grants for instrument purchases, professional development, and music programs. You would actually be surprised. Sometimes there are ways to find money. As a younger teacher, I had a lot of problem asking for money. And then I got past the awkwardness of it, and I asked all the time. And the worst thing they can say is, no, we don't have this money. But if you push and advocate for your students and your program's development, you're going to be surprised what you may actually get. One example of this was I had several more students in my program than I did the previous year. So what I do, I actually was doing lunch duty, and our superintendent, who was actually coming visiting the school, I actually know personally, and I said, hey, we have this situation. Is there any way we can get maybe 7 more tubas? And he said, you know what? Is it for the kids? Is it for the best? Is it best for the kids? And I said, absolutely, sir. And he said, give me a list. And so I did, gave him a list, also gave it to my music administrator, and we got $60,000 to $80,000 worth of equipment. It was amazing. And, one of the things with growth, such as I have an additional 100 students joining the program, I'm going to need more equipment and I'm going to need more storage, which is going to be pretty darn expensive. So you never know until you really put yourself out there. Now, also in terms of the funding challenges, you have community engagement. So feel free, involve parents, involve local businesses and community organizations to support music education financially. Now, some school systems may have rules. My school system, when I used to teach high school, we couldn't do any kind of performances for politically energized rallies or anything like that. Okay, it was typically your restaurants, car washes, things like that. But there are ways. And then we have creative solutions. So explore cost-effective alternatives. Now, in other words, DIY instruments. Maybe you could have a instrument drive where people in the community donated instruments that they just might have in storage. We've gotten tons of this. Also, you can use instead of maybe paying for everything, you can find open source software for some of your instruction. Next, we have technology integration. So on that same line, the challenge, balancing traditional teaching methods with technology can be daunting, especially if you're not a techie person. Okay, so solutions, let's talk about them. We have blended learning, we have music apps, and we have professional development. So in terms of blended learning, what really is blended learning? Well, combine face-to-face instruction with online resources. So it's a little bit of both. Traditional, new age with computers or some other technology. Use platforms like Google Classroom or learning management systems. You have Schoology, Canva. You have all kinds of programs that can help you organize and stimulate kids' learning experiences. Now, let's talk about the music apps. So you can integrate music theory apps. You have music websites like musictheory.net. You can use virtual instruments and recording tools. Encourage students to explore these in music production. You also have ways to really stimulate things that maybe 10 years ago students weren't able to do. And finally, we have professional development. How does this help? Well, by attending workshops on technology integration, you're going to learn so much. In fact, you can learn something every single day. And I'll tell you what, it is so exciting. I nerd out all the time on this kind of stuff. So go to your state conference, go to your district conference, whatever you have. You go to Midwest. There's some great presentations on integration of music technology. Next, we have student engagement. So the challenge, keeping students motivated and engaged during lessons. We all understand this. So some possible solutions involve active learning, student choice, and performance opportunities. So in terms of active learning, you can use interactive activities like singing, playing, composing to enhance engagement. In fact, you can even encourage kids to do small ensemble work. I mean, think how cool to have your own little band that you play with maybe in school, but maybe outside of school. Maybe you're doing gigs. Maybe you're learning that trade. All right. Other things you can do is let's talk about student choice. So ultimately, you want to allow students to select some repertoire under certain guidelines. And I know some people may have problems with this, but hear me out. Explore their interests. See what kind of music you can find that maybe teach important musical concepts. Okay, you do want your kids, if they have the buy-in. Okay, if you can create a buy-in, and sometimes you can have quality literature and still have students have buy-in. So expose them to what good music actually is. And then another solution is the performance opportunities. So you can organize recitals, ensemble concerts, community performances. You can do all kinds of things like this. If they have the buy-in, then they're going to pursue it even further, and it's less work for you. Teach them. Teach them. If you teach them, they will continue. And next, the challenges and solutions. We have assessment strategies. Dun, dun, dun. The challenge, finding effective ways to assess musical growth. Okay, so we have our solutions. We have formative assessment, we have performance assessments, and we have rubrics, all of which are very important. Okay, so in terms of formative assessment, use ongoing assessments. So you can use quizzes, you can do peer evaluations, you can have them do evaluations on a performance or as if they were judges, okay, to guide some of this instruction. A lot of times I find our students actually are harder on themselves than we are. So give them that opportunity, okay? Now, obviously, you want to guide them, and you don't want to tear down the group by any means, but you do want to show that there's room for improvement, and what can we do? Let's brainstorm. Get them thinking. Don't be the person that always talks. Then we have performance assessments. Okay, a lot of you guys teach or you're involved in performance ensembles. You're a performing group, right? So evaluate students' musical skills through these performances. You can use recordings and self-assessments. Teach them how to record. I mean, teach like, hey, if I put the tubas in the middle of the ensembles, sometimes there's a dead sound, so the balance isn't good. What if I put them on stage left? Oh, wait, there's the tubas. Okay, now it's starting to bounce a little better. Maybe these little subtleties of performance they're not aware of. And when they start learning they're like, wait, there's more? Okay, and ultimately we also have rubrics. And so many people are guilty of not using rubrics, and it's really the right thing to do. Students need to know how they're being graded. So develop clear rubrics for grading creativity, technique, and expression. Okay? This is just a very transparent thing you can do. You can prepare this even early during the summer. All right, so now we're going to go to the final challenge and solution. We have the teacher well-being. So the challenge: music educators often face burnout due to workload and emotional demands. Boy, oh boy, this is totally super true and so common. So possible solutions: self-care, professional support, and work-life balance. So in terms of self-care, you gotta prioritize self-care. Do things like exercise, make sure you rest enough, have some kind of hobby to maintain your well-being. You gotta take care of you. If you don't take care of you, there'll be no one to teach the kids. Okay? Then you have professional support. So connect with other music teachers, attend conferences, and share your experiences. Also, a lot of times teachers also vent. So maybe through venting, you can find solutions through shared experiences. And then finally, you have work-life balance. You got to do this. Don't be afraid. We get so overeager, and unless something bad happens, we often don't address this. So be sure to set boundaries and delegate your tasks when it's possible. I understand it's not always possible. A lot of times you want to see it done right, okay? So maybe delegate some responsibilities that really don't take a lot of skill. A lot of times people are just happy to help. So remember, as music educators, we all play a vital role in shaping students' lives. By addressing these challenges with innovative solutions, we create meaningful experiences for all. Finally, let's talk about music technology and resources. So, jumping into the world of music technology and resources for music educators. As teachers, we can harness technology to enhance our teaching practices and inspire our students. Here's 10 valuable tools and resources that empower music educators. And I know that there's certainly plenty more, but here are some that you may want to try out. First, Sotophonic. And the purpose is Sotophonic simplifies audio recording, editing, and sharing. And the benefits of this is user-friendly interface for students, works on various devices, including Chromebooks and smartphones, and has no sign-in requirement for basic usage. Use cases. Students can create and share their musical compositions, podcasts, or soundscapes. Next, we have Tango Chrome Extension. The purpose of this is Tango helps create crystal clear how-to guides with screenshots. The benefits to this: it's ideal for visual learners and perfect for step-by-step instructions. Use cases include craft guides for independent tasks, stations, or remote learning activities. Next, we have TED-Ed. The purpose is TED-Ed simplifies incorporating thought-provoking content into classrooms. The benefits of this is that there's access to TED Talks content, engaging videos and discussions, and it's completely free. Use cases include explore TED-Ed lessons related to music, creativity, and inspiration. Next, we have Slides Mania. So our purpose is that Slides Mania enriches music teaching by providing creative templates. And the benefits to this is that there's time-saving, ready-made templates for lesson planning, and engaging visuals for presentations. Use cases include design interactive music theory slides, quizzes, or virtual classroom activities. Next, we have flat.io. The purpose of this is that it is an interactive composition platform. The benefits include collaborative music notation and real-time feedback for student compositions. Use cases include students can compose, arrange, and share their musical ideas online. Next, we have Flocabulary. The purpose. Flocabulary combines hip-hop music with educational content. Benefits. Engages students through catchy songs. Covers various topics, including music history. Use cases include teach music concepts, history, or vocabulary with Flocabulary's music-based approach. 7, we have Soundtrap. And the purpose, Soundtrap is a cloud-based digital audio workstation. Benefits, collaborative music curation, recording, editing, and mixing capabilities. Pretty user-friendly. Use cases, students can compose, record, and produce their own music projects. Then we have Noteflight. Purpose. Noteflight offers online music notation and compositional tools. It's quite easy to use. Benefits. Web-based, accessible from any device with internet. Students can create and share sheet music. Use cases include arrange melodies, harmonies, or original compositions using Noteflight on the cloud. Number 9, Smart Music. I use this too. Purpose. Smart Music provides interactive practice tools, which is also called Make Music now. Benefits. Customizable practice exercises, instant feedback on performance material. Use cases. Assign practice assignments, sight reading exercises, and music as assessments. And number 10, GarageBand, and this is just for iPad. Purpose. GarageBand offers a versatile music creation app. Benefits. Intuitive interface for beginners, virtual instruments and loops. Use cases include students can explore music production, recording, and sound design. So remember, integrating technology into music education enhances creativity, engagement, and student learning. These tools empower us to create a harmonious blend of tradition and innovation in our classrooms. Closing thoughts. Now, music educators, let's wrap up this episode with some key takeaways and an invitation for our music educator community. First, we talked about effective teaching methods. We explored innovation approaches like gamification, project-based learning, and flipped classrooms. We embraced evidence-based practices to enhance student outcomes. And we prioritized professional growth through workshops and collaboration. Second, classroom management and engagement. We talked about establishing clear procedures and rules, fostering student engagement through active participation in varied exercises or activities, and we talked about creating a positive atmosphere to build relationships. And third, we talked about music education challenges and solutions. So we addressed inclusion, budget constraints, and technology integration, prioritized student engagement and effective assessment strategies, and we talked about taking care of your well-being as an educator. And finally, we delve more into the technology side with music technology and resources. We talked about leveraging tools like Sotophonic, TED-Ed, and Soundtrap. Encourage creativity with platforms like Noteflight and GarageBand, and talked about exploring Flocabulary for music-based content. Music educators, I want to thank you for tuning in today. I love hearing your thoughts on today's episode. Let's go ahead, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Music Educator, and feel free to share your experiences, challenges, and success stories. Let's build a supportive community where we can learn, grow, inspire one another. Until next time, keep the music alive. See you, everyone.